Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Voice of TOD. I'm Tom. I think the camera's in focus. It'll do. We're here for the Developer Direct 24. As you can see, it's not starting yet. We've got about 7 minutes to go. So I thought, while we're waiting, we would just refresh our mind on what's coming up. We have Avowed, which we're going to take a look at the gameplay trailer of, that released last summer. We have Oxide Games' Ara History Untold. It's like a Civ style alternate history buildy sim game thing. Looks really cool. I thought it looked cool, and I'm not into those games. I haven't seen much of that, but that will be interesting. MachineGames Indiana Jones, no idea what that is, so we're not really going to touch on that. And Ninja Theory's phenomenal, well, sequel to the phenomenal Hellblade. Hellblade 2, Senua's Sacrifice. Again, we've seen a lot of that, so the only one I really wanted to refresh my memory of while I'm burning time is Avowed. It's only a 2-minute trailer. It's ready to go, so I thought we'd just take a look at this, and that means I can get my audio level sorted as well, and it gives us something to talk about. But Avowed is set in the Pillars of Eternity universe. It's Skyrim-esque, I would say, but I thought we'd just have a little look. We saw this back in E3 or whatever it was called. So if I cut you down to about that might be okay. I forgot they added all this extra bump. But it's Obsidian, well known, well loved, great storytellers. They make some of the greatest sort of RPG narrative games. But this surprised me. This wasn't quite how I thought it would look. The art style is slightly different to what we saw in the original trailer from 2020. But it does have Skyrim vibes. For me, it's very Elder Scrolls-like.
Do they? Sent here to the living lands by an emperor who couldn't bother to come.
I think it looks cool though. I think it looks really good, and I'm interested to play. Obviously magic, weapons, firearms.
To investigate some plague that seems to be corrupting our very souls.
Yeah, I remember this now.
You want us to trust
Finishes, first-person finishing things. It's clearly not a first-person game. It's clearly first and third. Or is it clearly not a first-person game? There's a lot of third-person stuff.
The way you fight. The power.
But all of the combat is first-person.
The secrets you keep. You're either here to save us.
Is it a first-person? Camera's there, not there. I'm used to the camera being over there.
Or destroy us.
Well, they obviously put this emphasis on the player character being at the core of the story. It might well be.
All this power. What are you gonna do with it?
It might be first person, you know. I don't know if it's been confirmed. That might just be a cinematic for the trailer. You can skip all of that bit. This bit. So this is clearly cinematic captured in engine. But then it goes into first person. And when the swing comes in, it's first person, isn't it?
People don't like you very much.
And that could be a first person shot. But then the right, so what happens there?
People don't like you very much, do they?
So companions, I'm guessing, the camera swings over the shoulder to show you the wider land. That's again a shot for the cinematic for the trailer. That's not how the camera will function. All the action is in first person. That wasn't though.
You want us.
That was.
To trust you.
There's a lot of first person footage.
You scare us.
I don't know anything about the Avowed universe, about the Pillars of Eternity universe. I've played Pillars of Eternity or Pillars of Eternity 2.
The way you fight.
They are on Game Pass, I think. It might be something that I'll look at.
The power.
Yeah, cool. Right, let's jump back over to here. Because this is kicking off soon. And I don't want to miss the start. I've hidden the chat because the chat was, one, going so fast, and two, just, yeah. Is there anything sneaky in here? Avowed, Indiana Jones, Hellblade, Ara. No, they haven't snuck in a 5th game or anything like that. Okay, cool. What am I looking forward to is probably a good way to end this out there at this early section. I'm a massive Indiana Jones fan. As we all know, there's only 3 Indiana Jones films. I'm hoping that it's set somewhere around those 3 films. I mean, anywhere before Crystal Skull would probably be fine. But it looks like it's a younger Indy, which I'm more than happy with. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I don't think I've played an Indiana Jones game for 20 years. I've tried Xbox Live Gold gave away Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. I think I played about an hour of it and I just never got back to it, which is a shame. I would have liked to have, but it wasn't something that I would really stream, and I bet the copyright thing is really bad with it because it's indie music, not that kind of indie music. But a modern, and here's how I see it, right? Uncharted 2 is one of the best games I've played, and it's probably the best action game, narrative-wise, that I've ever played. It's so good, and it's something they just capture the feel of the character. If MachineGames gives us an Uncharted, but with Indiana Jones, I am so here for it. That would be everything that I would want from an indie game. It fits, which is funny because Uncharted was the answer to Indiana Jones in video game form. So it would be really nice to see that. Obviously, MachineGames are a known quantity. They do brilliant first-person shooters. The Wolfenstein stuff, on the whole, is pretty solid. I had to stop playing 2 because it got very bleak. But as a gameplay loop, they really nail it. So I'm very interested to see what indie is. We know about Hellblade 2. Avowed is the big question mark for me. I don't think Obsidian make bad games. They've had a lot of time to make this one. The last one that they made was Pentiment over on TOD Plays Games. I did a full playthrough. Just an incredible game. And as expected. At least we can go full screen on this though. We will lift the audio up if we need to while we're jumping around. Avowed is the question mark. Ara isn't make or break for me. I don't have any real experience in those kind of alternate history sim games, so it doesn't mean anything to me. It's probably a game that I'd play with Game Pass, but I wouldn't rush out and buy it. But it did look good. How they sold it in the original trailer looked really cool. It's Avowed that I'm most excited about, and I want to see a good section of gameplay. And obviously anything from indie, gameplay-wise, I think is a necessity. But I'd like to know a release date, or a release window. That would be cool. So what are we opening with? This has to be Avowed. No, Hellblade. 18? Hellblade would be an 18. Or is it just the whole thing's in 18? Whole thing's in 18. Okay. Maybe there isn't a secret game. Maybe it is just the 4. I mean, it's still 4 big games. Well, 3 big games. And a 4th potentially big game. Was that inside Obsidian's D&D night? Was that indie mocap? It should be good. It's nice that they do these in Januaries. Give us an idea of what's going on. There might be another game. There's space for another game. I don't know. I've not seen any rumors. I've tried to stay away. I like this animation as well. They cut into... I really do like these. I think they're done very well.
Welcome to Obsidian Entertainment. I'm so proud to share with you our upcoming fantasy action RPG, Avowed. Avowed is an adventure into the heart of the living lands,
It looks
a
pretty
frontier
good.
at the edge of the known world, where you must put a stop to a mysterious spiritual plague and discover a secret at the heart of the living lands. At Obsidian, we love creating worlds with deep themes, dynamic gameplay, and thoughtful reactivity. And Avowed is no different.
That's good. I did
We
love
set
Outer
out to
Worlds,
blend
actually.
the believable and fantastical to give players a world and experience like no other. It's colorful, it's vibrant, it's strange. It's one of the most incredible settings in the world of
Definitely
Aora.
looks really varied.
There's going to be a lot of great secrets to discover, one of which has a really personal connection to you as the player character, and you're going to have a great time getting to know those secrets
going home?
and leaving your mark on the world.
We're going to go see our parents.
And when it comes to encounters, our combat brings the best of the moment-to-moment
First
fun
person.
that comes with action-oriented gameplay and the depth and breadth of choice that you get with an RPG. Here to talk more about Avowed's combat is Gabriel Paramo, Gameplay Director.
Here at Obsidian, our team's overarching goal is to empower you with choice. So we
Is it
developed
first
a flexible
person?
combat system that allows you to quickly swap from spellcasting and sharpshooting to melee combat. We want to give you the freedom to mix and match your loadout to fit the way you want to play from moment to moment, uninterrupted.
The wand
For all
gameplay
battles,
doesn't interest
you
me.
can combine a variety of weapons, attacks, and abilities for tactical advantages against a wide range of enemy types. It's not just hacking and slashing. You're making real-time decisions about when to use your abilities, powerful melee attacks, blocks, parries, and special attacks. If you choose to approach combat with a one-handed wand, it feels quick and snappy when dealing damage to enemies at mid-range. Using the Tanglefoot ability, you can stop enemies in their tracks, giving you the opportunity to focus on weaker or tougher combatants in an intentional and controlled manner. It's important to
This
pay
looks
attention to
very
the types of
scripted.
enemies you're dealing with. Some units are extremely defensive, some are brutishly difficult, and others you must make sure you prioritize, or their healing capabilities will put you in a tough spot. To help with the different encounters you will face, we provide customizable loadouts that can be quickly switched during combat.
That's cool.
That means you can play however you want. Equip a sword
I
and
like the
shield
choice. I
and
like the
charge into
variety.
battle. Dual-wield pistols and control the encounter mid-range.
That
Or even
seems fun.
dual-wield wands to feel like a gunslinging mage. You
That
could
looked
use your
better.
enchanted wand to freeze enemies, and then use your offhand weapon's power attack to shatter them. We've worked hard to keep you constantly engaged as battles unfold by creating a balance
don't know
between
how I
pressure
feel about
and
the first
manageability
person.
during combat.
Viewpoint.
Players will have ample choices for how to build and progress their envoy in the world of the living lands as they get to know the game
It
and the
looks
story
very
and explore the many
customizable,
diverse
which is good.
regions. Some quests in Avowed will have you make difficult decisions with profound consequences. Like this side quest you may encounter in Shatterscarp, the third region you'll explore on your journey through the living lands.
It looks pretty.
As you're
like
exploring,
graphically,
you
I'm
come
really
across
impressed
the
with
bodies
this.
of these fallen soldiers. And as you explore the remains of the battle, it's up to you to determine who, if anyone, is at fault.
Just the four of us. Manu, Kiri, Naoki, and me. Training under Captain Ruiki. Trying to keep Thirdborn safe.
In other words, you're a gang of vigilantes. Not that I'm one to judge.
Here. Take my badge. Take everyone's. Our families deserve to know we fought and died for them.
Making the right choice isn't always
It
what
does
it
look
seems.
very good.
We embrace moral nuance and gray areas, trusting players to make tough decisions in complicated situations.
My squad and I rested in the cave by the water last night, and as we were sleeping, we were ambushed by those miserable Zorips. I was so surprised, and it was so dark. I just got separated from everyone else. Look, I can't face those monsters alone, but I have to know if anyone else made it out. Of course he did. Sergeant Asui never has a thought he won't say out loud. So what did he tell you? That Captain Ruiki was sick? that I was paranoid, that I was a dumb baby. I heard it all often and loudly. Wait, if you found Sergeant Usui, why is he not here with you? What happened?
At the end of the quest, you have a choice. When you confront Private Naoki, if you believe the story he's told you, you can hand over the badges and let him go back home.
You're right. Real battle isn't something you can prepare for, is it? It's not my fault. No, they should have never have camped in the cave. I'll take the badges. I'm going back to Third Born.
But if you confront him, if you believe that he fled the site of the battle as an act of cowardice, then he might challenge you to a fight to reclaim his honor.
That's
Either
cool.
way, when you return to town, you'll see the consequences of your actions and the choices you made during this quest.
I like that. I like
Creating
stories
an
that
immersive
really make you
experience like
question
Avowed
what you're
is
doing.
anchored in the world we build. Art director Matt Hansen and the team have worked to create a unique, colorful, and dynamic visual style.
From the outset, we knew that we wanted Avowed setting to feel rich, weird, and wonderful. We found
definitely looks
inspiration
that
in
way.
a wide swath of real-world cultures, helping us create a unique RPG experience.
That's stunning.
By contrasting the vibrant with the dull, or verdant spaces with sickly ones, we can better deliver complex emotional experiences for our players.
It's good as well.
The Living Lands is a continent of untamed valleys with widely varied biomes, from luxuriant forests to volcanic wastes. And each of those regions itself is a conflux of storied landscapes. All of the regions have a lot of special things associated with them, but I have a deep place in my heart for Shatterscarp. As you're wandering the wastes of Shatterscarp, you might notice off in the distance a vibrant jewel of color. By transitioning from destitute, muted tones of a wasteland of sand and marching in towards a beautiful oasis, there's the opportunity there for life, for adventure, and even a little danger.
I'm kind of getting Conan-y vibes.
We hope you've enjoyed this look at Avowed.
From the world.
We're thrilled to share more about the game in the coming months, and we can't wait for you to
wasn't
explore
much.
the Living Lands when
I
Avowed
suppose
launches
gameplay
this
and
fall.
then the art direction. First-person combat worries me a little. It depends how it feels when you're playing and how reactive it is, because the only thing that I've really got to go with it is Skyrim, and that was awful. The combat in Skyrim is the weakest part of that game. That's an interesting looking piece of art. Yeah, on the whole, I'm pretty... Fall 2024. Okay. Fall's gonna be busy this year. Yes. I think it looks good. Open-minded. I was impressed with most of what I saw. The combat is something that you'd need to play to feel, so I shouldn't really comment on that. They're giving us windows. Indie's going to be last, isn't it? I don't know what Hellblade 2 can show us, because we've seen so much.
Hi, I'm Don Matthews, studio head here
I
at
like
Ninja
how they do
Theory in
these, showing you
Cambridge,
the studio
UK.
and things.
We're now in the
think
final
it's
months
a
of
really nice way
development
of
on
doing
Senua
these.
Saga Hellblade 2, and the team is working hard to bring you an unforgettable journey into Senua's unique world and her battle
Final
for
months.
survival,
So is this
where we
summer?
have once again combined high fidelity and immersive presentation with a shorter, narrative-led experience that focuses on the things that we really care about,
It just looks
and that
beautiful.
we hope you care about
Sounds
too.
beautiful. And if it's anything like the first game, it's going to be just an experience.
How the pitiless world stamps you down.
Senua is back with a new quest. She wants to stop the Vikings who raided her village right at their source, in Iceland. But not just her quest has changed. Senua herself has grown since the first Hellblade. She's made peace with her past and is no longer in such fear of her visions and voices. While the Furies
Okay.
are still her constant companions, she encounters new people along the way, some of which will value her unique perspective, and others who will reject it.
Little by little,
Interesting.
this settlement became my tribe.
In the game, Senua arrives in 10th century Iceland on the trail of the Vikings who have been enslaving her people. In the story, we're trying to be as faithful to history as we can up to a point. establishing a solid framework and then building more surreal elements on top. Senua will face up to giants who have plunged the land into chaos, and which in turn has seen the rise of the Droiga, a violent threat that has swept through the settlements.
2018 showcase? It was Game Awards, wasn't it? It was first shown off.
Senua will make new enemies and also new allies who will come to see her unique perspective as a beacon of hope. And she'll discover, along with us, how this viewpoint can have its advantages.
So we're going to be fighting humans. Hey Catherine, how are we doing? Nice to see you.
Senua is a Celtic warrior who experiences psychosis. Seeing things that other people don't,
very much
hearing
like the
voices,
first, with
and
those
having
gates and
unique
things
beliefs
in the
about the
rooms.
world around her. To bring Senua's perspective of the world to life in a truthful way, we have once again worked closely with Professor Paul Fletcher at the University of Cambridge, as well as people with lived experience of psychosis.
That was one of the strongest elements of the first game. The whole psychosis, voices, it freaked me out so much.
Players will find themselves traversing beautiful and hostile environments, seeking answers from patterns and signs that Senua sees in her own unique way, and battling through encounters with enemies that will push Senua to her limits.
Considering I didn't think there was anything else we could see from this, I'm really excited.
On Saga, we've taken everything to the next level. With a new motion capture space, a bigger stage team, a stunt crew and a new cast.
We spent a lot of time planning the motion capture shoots, thinking of what events would be good to bring into this fight. Like, how can we make this fight feel different from the previous fight? We have all new combat for the sequel.
I really liked the combat in the first one.
One of our key goals was the ability to actually tell a story throughout it. It does feel very different from the first game, but it's very brutal and you're very invested in it.
I mean, it was brutal in the first game.
Senua isn't a superhero. She's fighting for survival, and we want the player to feel her struggle in every step of her journey. We want the player to always feel like they just scraped through, just survived it.
Oh, I can believe that's how they're going to do it.
Mel knows Senua better than anyone, better than I do. Her instincts are amazing, and she really doesn't need much help from me. On stage, our main focus is storytelling. So I get to watch the actors and see all the beautiful expressions on their faces.
I'd love to just see a day inside a mocap studio.
And then I get to see that all again in-game, in costume, on location, everything.
Game design.
It's a great experience, a great process.
Every discipline in the studio is unified in achieving a deep level of immersion to help suspend your disbelief and pull you into Senua's story. We were lucky enough to do a few reference gathering trips in Iceland. You have to be there. The sense of scale, everything is incredible. And you see a scene or you see a small section of the game and you're like, yeah, that works, that's amazing.
When can we play it? Because we've been hearing about it for years.
Senua experiences reality differently, and a part of this manifests in the voices she hears.
She will collapse. She will collapse.
These voices come to life through binaural audio, which provides a good representation of this type of auditory hallucinations. As we focus in immersion, binaural audio is perfect for this because through headphones, you surround yourself in a three-dimensional space. In the first game, we only applied to the voices that Senua listens in her head. In this game, through a spatial audio technology and some extra little things within the game, there is music that is binaural. Every single sound has the potential to be binaural, so everything is spatialized around you, and it's a very beautiful experience.
Incredible.
What will we do to us?
Music is a strange language in the sense that it speaks to our emotions fast and deep. It's not only about quality, it's about personality. So when you listen to Hellblade, you know it's Hellblade. On the music, we are working with Hylum, which for me is a personal privilege because I really admire them. We feel their craft, their depth, their meaning in the music. It really connects with our game and elevates it to something really special. We are also working with a heavy metal singer, throat singers, and our very own Furies. They sing so beautiful, and we add that binaural touch of music. So this all creates a very immersive and a very special and unique experience.
Putting the earmuffs around the mic.
Our mission here at Ninja Theory is to craft life-changing art with game-changing tech. And that's our aim in Senua Saga Hellblade 2, is to not only see where Senua goes next, but to deliver something really meaningful for our players.
My hope is that they will really connect to Senua as a character, and even if they can't really relate to what she's going through, maybe they know someone that relates to that character and they can then understand that person better.
Well, I don't want to sound cheesy, but in a way I'm Senua, right? She exists and doesn't. It exists through all of our work, through every ninja. So we all are Senua, and
it's kind of cool that they call themselves ninjas at Ninja Theory,
and grows and keep growing and keep changing.
I suppose it builds that
makes it
dynamic.
real.
I'm so proud of the love, care and passion our team here at Ninja Theory are putting into Senua Saga Hellblade 2. Our hope is to not only create a game that is great to play, but to craft an experience that leaves you thinking and feeling. From our combat gameplay through to our action set pieces, from our cinematic scenes to our puzzle solving, everything is crafted in service of Senua's journey. A journey that you can embark on May 21st.
Dated. Nice. Okay, so that's the big summer game. May, that's an interesting time to release it. But that's cool, right? I know what we're going to be playing in May. Well, May 21st. I've got to get the first one finished now, haven't I? Okay. Ara next. They're going to save Indy. Fifth game. Square. That kind of doesn't interest me. This could be a stealth drop as well. This could be out now. It's interesting that it's Square though, because Square don't like working for Xbox.
My name is Masaru Oyamada, producer for the Mana series here at Square Enix. 聖剣伝説 Visions of Mana の情報を Xbox ユーザーの皆さんにいち早くお伝えできる機会をいただけて大変光栄です。コンソールゲームとしては約17年ぶりとなる聖剣伝説シリーズの完全新作。聖剣伝説シリーズは1991年にファイナルファンタジー外伝として誕生して以降、マナと聖剣をめぐって描かれる愛をテーマに、個性豊かなキャラクターたち、心に響く楽曲の数々、武器の特性を生かして戦うアクション RPG として、これまでに17作発売され、長らく愛されてきました。本作は30年以上の歴史あるシリーズの最新作となるため、これまで培われてきた聖剣伝説としての世界をしっかり感じられるものを目指して鋭意制作中です。フィールドでは自然や精霊とのつながりを感じられる色彩豊かな聖剣伝説の世界を体験してもらえると思います。シリーズおなじみのモンスターたちも本作に登場しています。今回これらのおなじみのモンスターたちを作り出した聖剣伝説の生みの親である石井浩一さんとともに聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナの内容を紹介していきたいと思います。
Hello, I am Koichi Ishii from Grep.
Games like this.
I am so happy to introduce the newest game in the Mana series to Xbox players. 初期の頃からシリーズ作品に登場しているモンスターたちは私が考案したものですが、中には小学生の頃すでにイメージができていたものもあります。今作では初めはドット絵からスタートしたモンスターたちをどのような形で最新化して聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナに落とし込むか、デザインの方向性からモデルの完成イメージまでを監修する立場でプロジェクトに参加しました。聖剣伝説ファイナルファンタジー外伝を作っていた頃から自分の頭の中ではモンスターたちは立体的に生き生きと動いて、これまで自分が携わった作品ではそれらをどうやって当時の技術で表現できるかにこだわって作ってきました。最新作では聖剣伝説のモンスターたちをただ可愛いだけではなく恐ろしさの部分もしっかりと表現できているので、バトル中は モンスターたちの表情にも注目してください。
Don't know if it's for
これま
kids,
で
if it's a
聖剣伝説
30-year-old
シリーズには
franchise.
空を旅する海を渡る手助けをしてくれる頼もしい仲間たちがいましたが、
It's more of a
今作には広大なフィールド
an
探検
Eastern
に欠かせな
market
い
game,
新たな
which
仲間が登場
Xbox
します。
needs. They absolutely need to
陸
be
上を
getting
猛ス
games
ピー
like
ドで
this.
駆け回ってくれるピックル。
This reminds
ピ
me
ック
of
ルも
Zelda,
石井
and
さんが新た
Zelda
に考案
was
してくださっ
like
ています。
Ocarina of Time is one of the best games ever.
新たな仲間を考えるにあたっては、今作の
Open
マスコットキャラクターになるくら
I'll
い
try it. If it's on
可愛い
Game Pass, I'll try
動
it.
物にしたいという漠然とした思いがありました。その上でヨークシャテリアの毛並み、見た目はアルマジルによく似た仙山港や古代エジプト神のアヌビスの子供といった具体的なイメージが浮かんできて、それぞれの特徴を取り入れながらラフデザインを書き起こしました。デザイナーにもアイデアを出してもらいながら、足の長さや丸まった時のイメージなどゲームの中での見え方も考えながら調整を重ねていき、ピックルは誕生しました。
thicker cartoon style, thicker black liner on the edges of
もう一
everything
つ
to
の
make
挑
them
戦
stand
は
out.
楽曲
It's an
面です。
interesting art style.
過去さまざまなコンポーザーが携わられた楽曲の雰囲気が感じられつつも、最新作として素晴らしい新たな楽曲が生まれました。 BGM でもしっかり聖剣伝説シリーズらしさを感じてもらえると思います。
I do like the soundtrack.
過去シリーズの楽曲を手掛けたクリエイターたちが全100曲という大ボリュームの制作に挑んでくれました。新たな試みとしてフィールドの探索からバトルまでをシームレスに体験できるよう、今作ではインタラクティブミュージックを導入しており、冒険の没入感を高めてくれます。探索中の BGM がバトル
Yeah,
に入った
the
瞬間、
music
アレンジ
changing
が
when
切
you
り替わ
enter
る
or
様
leave
を実際に
combat
聞いてみ
isn't
ま
a
しょう。
new thing. Yeah, I get it's a style that doesn't really resonate with me, but the gameplay reminds me of what I played as a kid. It has that not necessarily arcadey,
今
but
作は
that
ア
kind
ク
of
ション
feel
RPG
to
聖剣
the
伝説のアクション部分が強化されています。空中でのアクションがバトルの鍵となっており、武器での攻撃だけでなく魔法での攻撃も可能になっています。
Having never played a mana game, I
そ
have
して
no connection
本
to
作
it
なら
at
ではの
all.
特徴として聖剣伝説シリーズではおなじみの精霊たちがい
It
ますが、
does. Everything about it reminds
そ
me
の
of
力を宿
Ocarina
し
of
た武器を
Time.
使うとバトルを手助けしてくれるようになります。精霊によっては様々な特性の違いがありますので、その効果とともに聖剣伝説の世界らしい不思議な力で
With
爽
Final
快なバトル
Fantasy
を楽しんで
elements
いただ
to
け
it.
ます。
There's quite a bit of Final Fantasy in this as well.
オリジナルモンスター
Again,
や
I'm not a
ピックルに
Final
も注目
Fantasy
してほしいの
fan,
ですが、
so
聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナーは聖剣伝説らしさを感じてもらえる作品になるよう小山田君を中心にチームのみんなが頑張って作ってくれていますので、ぜひ発売日を楽しみに待っていてください。 私
even if
自身も
games aren't
プレイ
for
するのを
me,
楽しみにしていま
it's
す。
still great that Xbox has these
聖
kind of
剣伝
things
説シリー
coming
ズとし
in the
て初
pipeline
めて
whenever they
Xbox
release,
ユー
coming
ザー
to
の皆
Game
さんに
Pass,
お届
coming
けする
to
本作
to give
聖剣伝説
their
ビジョンズ・オブ・マナ
players in
ーは
other
今後も
countries
様々な情報をお
this kind
届
of
けし
stuff
てい
to
きます
play.
ので、
'Cause it's been
ぜ
very
ひ
Western
ご期待くだ
focused
さ
for
い。
too long.
この夏この忘れられない冒険を Xbox
This is
ユーザー
another
の
one coming
皆
in
さ
the
んに
summer.
楽しんでいただける日が今から待ちきれません。
So I'll play Hellblade first. Available on Xbox XS and PC. No mention of Game Pass. If it isn't on Game Pass, I won't be playing it. Let's put it that way. Right, okay, so that's the secret fifth game. We've got a half hour left, give or take. This one interests me. I don't know anything about Oxide Games either.
Hello, and welcome to Oxide Games. We founded the studio in 2013 with our decades of personal experience building some of the most beloved strategy games of all time, like Civilization V. We came together to create something new and innovative in a genre we all love. Ara History Untold is the game we've dreamt of making.
Ara is an homage to historical gamers, strategy gamers, 4X gamers. It features all the depth and gameplay fans of this genre love, where you'll explore the world, expand your nation, govern your people, and engage with your rivals on the
I'll
international
probably
stage.
play it, but I just don't
isn't just more of the
understand
same.
these kind of games.
With
My
Ara,
head
we wanted to
doesn't-
challenge some of the
my brain
preconceived
isn't big enough
notions
to
about the
work out
genre,
how they play.
push it forward in a modern, empowering, and truly compelling and approachable way.
For example, we have over 100 instruments on display in the office, which are all things that we purchased in order to add to the soundtrack and
okay,
expand the game.
That's
And make it
dedication.
really good. Hi, Dan. That's Dan. We started in his basement. It's been an amazing process to see from concept
I
to
like the
completion.
concept art.
We started
The concept
small,
art's
building
cool.
a robust game engine, questioning our design assumptions, and prototyping out features, rediscovering what made us fall in love with strategy games in the first place.
The end result is Ara, the historical grand strategy game that presents a living world where you can rule how you want to rule and chart your own path to becoming the most prestigious nation on the planet.
Big.
For Ara, we knew we needed deep systems with outcomes that encourage exploration and give players the power to experiment and make meaningful strategic choices while still having agency over their playstyle.
We also wanted to explore more in different parts of history and give players from around
Just while
the
they're talking
world
about this one,
the chance to
Catherine,
see the game
Avowed
reflect
might
their
be something
unique
you'd be interested
perspective,
in,
and not just ours.
From what you've said in
And
chat
finally,
and stuff for
we knew
games
that
that you
for
like to
players
play.
to feel the impact of their decisions,
So check
they
that
would
out. That
need
was
to
right at
see
the
their
start.
choices reflected
Definitely
in the
worth
game
looking at
world
that one.
itself, not just through numbers on a menu. One of the first differences you'll see when you dive into Ara is what we call the living world. It's a procedurally generated alternate Earth, bursting with life, an intuitive, authentic, and immersive space, a blank canvas for players to paint the society of their dreams.
The living world isn't just a map. It reflects the choices players make over the course of the game. They can see
Okay, that's
everything
interesting.
from the settling of the wilderness to cultural influence on architecture over time to the thousands of citizens living their lives and reacting to the changes.
I don't
we
know
want
if
players
that's a
to
new
feel like
thing,
they're
but
truly
it
occupying the world,
sounds good.
leading their people as they thrive and grow. Core to the vision of Ara is our philosophy of rule how you want to rule. And no feature better exemplifies this than the prestige system.
To win a game of Ara, players will compete with their rivals to build the most influential, impressive, and important nation the world has ever known. This is measured by prestige, the player's score that proves their worth as a leader.
The prestige system gives players the chance to decide what kind of leader they want to be. Do they want to pursue great works of arts and culture? Military might? Scientific advancement? The choice is theirs. In Ara, there are no set
Okay.
victory conditions. Players get to decide what is most important to them and focus and prioritize on those goals while still being able to win the game.
Personally, when I play Ara, I like to build triumphs. Triumphs are our collection of incredible monuments and architectural achievements from throughout human history. Like the Great Pyramid of Giza. They're hard to build, but worth it, giving huge prestige bonuses and game-changing abilities to the nation that constructs them.
Another aspect of Ara that I'm personally excited about is our crafting system.
The crafting system offers a unique challenge to the player that they generally won't see often in the 4X genre. Succeeding at balancing, gathering the right things, turning them into the tools that you need, and then finally getting to the outcome or reward of something like an important improvement or triumph just changes
brain
the
is switching
challenge
off
that
of the
exists in
complexity
Ara
that
compared
this
to
might
other
be.
4X games.
Crafting plays out in Ara at a national scale, with players honing and combining the natural resources they harvest into all manner of goods and components. Those are the foundation for everything, from international trade to improving their cities' and citizens' lives, and even manufacturing the weapons necessary to draft military units. The crafting system in Ara encourages thoughtful, advanced planning. It rewards players who can see the strategic outcome of all their collective decisions, and
That's the
not just
difference.
the individual
It's
ones.
the strategy
I'm
side.
proud of the work that's gone into our simultaneous turn system.
I don't get the strategy.
Many strategy games have players alternate taking turns and reacting to their opponent's moves.
It's like
In
chess.
Ara, all players' actions are resolved at the same time. This rewards players' ability to navigate uncertainty, to predict and strategically plan for a variety of scenarios in the moment. This system makes Ara just feel more real. In a typical
That's
strategy
interesting.
game, once your turn is finished, you have to wait for a long time. With simultaneous turns, generally speaking, those times are very low. You get to keep playing the game and stay engaged rather than having those periods of downtime where you're not doing anything.
It's a better way of doing it.
It's not easy sifting through all of history and picking what to include. For Ara, we wanted to offer a fresh perspective, so we looked at cultures and societies throughout the millennia with the broadest lens possible.
Where this approach really shines is in our leaders. Leaders are so often seen as military personnel or prominent government figures, but leaders come in so many different forms. They're thought leaders, scientific and cultural prodigies, and many more.
Each leader in Ara has a number of special abilities determined by their personality traits, as well as a powerful and unique leader trait, informed by their contributions to world history.
Again, I don't
With
know
a
if this
diverse
is new or
global
not, but I know
roster,
that
we know
leaders are
players
a
will find
thing in
leaders
other
that they will
games.
want to play. And even a few that may surprise them with how fun it is when those leaders are handed the reins of power.
For us at Oxide, player feedback is the only way to really understand what you're making. It gives us that priceless perspective from the people we're making Ara for, you.
Building
Open
the game
beta
alongside real players has
dropping
given us that
tonight.
critical player feedback.
Oh no.
In the
Must be
end, we
going on
believe
behind
this
the
makes
scenes.
for a deeper connection between the players and the game.
One of
Well,
my
that's
favorite
good. You
examples
should
is when
involve
we first
players.
introduced the concept of
When
dangerous
you
wildlife
build a
to the
game, when you create a
Turns
game, you
out,
should
in our
test it
first
regularly. You
iteration,
should
it
get
was maybe
feedback
a
and
little
iterate
bit
on
too
it.
aggressive or disruptive. We knew we should probably make a change when one of our insiders made a forum post that was just,
Cougars, cougars,
Cougars, I hate cougars!
"Someone get these feline demons away from me." I'm happy to report, based on more recent feedback, that I think we ended up in a good place with the overall threat level of mountain lions to a player's citizenry.
So they had a cougar problem.
It's been years of hard work to bring you a strategy experience like no other. And we're so excited that we can finally see the finish line. We can't wait for players to get their hands on the game later this year.
But the launch of Ara is only the beginning. We are going
Okay,
to
so this is
maintain our
fall.
insider program after the release date and continue to listen to players and support the game into the future.
Good.
On behalf of
Every
everyone at
studio should
Oxide
do that.
Games, thank you for joining us today. We can't wait for you to play Ara and to
I
create
think
your
it's
own
going to be
history.
interesting. PC Game Pass, not on consoles at launch. Okay. I mean, if you're going to play a game like that, really you want to be on PC. Mouse and keyboard is the only way. Right, it's time for the copyright claims. I want to hear that music. There's nothing coming out spring. I've got chills. I hope that this looks how I want it to look.
Hej och välkommen till Uppsala, Sverige, här hos Machine Games. We are really excited to finally be able to share our work on Indiana Jones. Since the first film came out, Indiana Jones has always represented the ultimate adventure. Even today, it's one of the most iconic franchises in pop culture. In this game, you
That's
are
it, they only showed
just
3 films.
playing
There is
as
only
in
3
you
Indiana Jones
are
films.
Indiana Jones. You will see through his eyes and experience a journey that we hope lives up to the proud legacy of Indiana Jones. When
High bar.
Todd Howard first told us about his vision for the game, we knew we would be a very good fit to help bring it to life.
I've wanted to make an Indiana Jones game
Hey,
forever.
Todd.
I'd had this
Imagine
idea
seeing you here.
for what it would be like and the story, what Indy was going after, what period of his life it was in, what kind of arc he was going to have. And as the years went on, I thought, who would be
Please
like
don't be
the
like
best
Starfield.
studio in the world to make this? And it was my friends at Machine Games.
Well, they do
I
Nazis
can remember
well.
pitching Lucasfilm on the game and being, a little bit nervous because, look, it's, Indiana Jones, and their response was just overwhelmingly positive, and just that excitement has bled
Wow.
through the whole project, and they have just been so trusting and supportive of everything that we want to do with the game. It's been a long time. I've been a fan of this my whole life, and I couldn't be more excited to show you what the team here has been up to.
Come on.
Let's take our first look.
Come on,
at the new
Uncharted
Indiana
but with
Jones
Indy.
game.
That's what I want.
Let me tell you what you are missing, Dr. Jones. While you were playing your pointless game,
It looks like Machine
was
Games.
playing you. You are
It's an
naive.
older indie.
Maybe you should have built yourself a life of meaning, instead of ending up here, dead and forgotten in the sense of Africa.
Maybe it isn't an older indie. I don't know. I can't tell anymore.
Myths. History.
It's Troy Baker.
Just different ways to interpret the past. Thousands of years of humanity's thoughts and beliefs.
I think it's Troy Baker. First person.
Just
makes sense for machine games.
To be found.
You can't just run away from your problems, Indiana.
Watch me.
I'm sure that's Troy Baker. I'm liking the look of this. Wilhelm?
Throughout history, mankind has built sites of great spiritual significance. If you were to draw a line through these ancient sites around the globe, you get a perfectly aligned circle.
I don't care about the copyright claim.
I've had run-ins with these guys before.
The animation is how you expect Indy to
It ain't a
move.
walk in the park.
Okay, then. Let's see if you can keep up.
What do you mean if I could keep up?
They've got the character modeling perfect as well.
Patron of the fallen angels.
It's definitely Troy.
Protector of the Circulimani. The Great Circle. You have any idea how old that was?
I'm sold. I'm sold.
Indiana Jones is such an iconic character, and he means so much to so many people.
I mean, Disney have ruined him, but...
Everyone here at the studio has their own indie stories and memories. Most of us grew up with his adventures and have been fans of the movies and the character for years. He's a brilliant
not be a fan of
archaeologist,
Indiana
he's a
Jones?
charismatic everyman, he's passionate and determined. And for us, he's synonymous with adventure.
Now we have the opportunity to tell
I
a
really
new
like the
Indiana
art style.
Jones
It's
story to a
different,
modern
but it
gaming
works.
audience. Our game is all about putting you in Indy's shoes, letting you see and feel what he sees and feels. For us at Machine Games, we do that best through first person. It's the ideal perspective to bring you into the rich, exciting, and interactive world we've built. We believe that being up close and personal to the adventure is key, making each action feel
This
like
is the
your own.
highlight. This looks pretty good.
Whether it's cracking your whip,
It's not what I was
solving
wanting,
puzzles
but
in
it
ancient
looks
temples,
really good.
or seeing
I'll
your
take a
knuckles
first
go
person.
bloody in a fistfight. All of these moments are much more intense in first person. But we still want you to have those moments. Seeing his iconic silhouette with the hat, the whip, and so for things like cutscenes and environmental
Music is
traversal,
authentic, yeah.
we pull the camera back for a third-person view.
Okay, so it's third person mixed.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is set between Raiders of the Lost Ark and
Okay,
The Last Crusade.
good.
When our game
He definitely
begins,
doesn't die in the
Indiana is
game,
working at Marshall College. He wakes up in the middle of the night to the sounds of a break-in and rushes to confront the thief in the college museum. The mysterious giant of a man makes off with what seems to be a historically insignificant artifact, sparking Indiana's curiosity.
Who the hell are you?
Following the trail, Indiana heads to the Vatican hoping to learn why this particular relic was stolen, and discovers that things aren't what they appear.
Globe-trotting.
He starts pulling at the strings of a mystery, and it all unravels until he has no choice but to see it through to the end, whatever the end may be.
Yes, the map. Love it. I mean, you'd have to.
Stop. Need help. Stop. Leave me in Vatican. Stop. Indy.
We always talk about how clever Indiana Jones is. That had to be one of our guiding principles when we were thinking about the type of game we were making. It wouldn't be Indy if he wasn't using his wits to get through the situation. The most authentic Indiana Jones experience we can make is the one that makes you think first.
Getting the hang of this.
Sure, there will be some obstacles that will be more easily overcome with the revolver or a gun taken from a disarmed guard. But I think most of the time you'll have more fun, and to be honest, a more genuine indie experience by finding more clever ways to solve a problem.
I mean, indie is very
we
curious.
Always want to be offering more solutions, whether it's trying a different path through the environment to get around enemies, observing enemy patrols and using them to your advantage, or using the tools at your disposal, like the whip.
It's an amazing global adventure, with action propelling you through your journey.
We have these really diverse environments for you to explore. Indie's journey will take him to the forgotten temples of Sukhothai, the pyramids of Egypt,
can we get an art book?
the snow-peaked Himalayas, and beyond.
We look carefully at each location and the time period the game is set in, and we're trying to make it as authentic and accurate as possible.
We love creating rich, vibrant worlds, and in this game, we also had the goal of making it feel like a true cinematic Indiana Jones adventure.
It looks
One of the biggest
cinematic
ways
as well.
to do that is with the music. John Williams is the original composer for the indie films, and we're really lucky to have found Gordy Hub, a composer who's been able to capture Williams' essence with his score for The Great Circle.
We also take a very movie-like approach to things like cinematics. We're very physical with our production style. We use a lot of stunt actors. Things like this help us bridge the gap between making a game and making a movie.
And of course, our characters do a lot to help bring the world to life as well. Next to Indy, Gina is our other main protagonist. Where Indy is pursuing answers just for the sake of curiosity, Gina has a personal stake in getting to the bottom of the core mystery.
Gina is an investigative reporter who has a lot riding on this adventure. She's been tracking a lead for some time, and now she's found an ally in this determined American professor. Their paths are intertwined, and they'll need each other in order to get to the bottom of this mystery.
Interesting.
Okay, then. Let's see if you can keep up.
Fight. What do you mean if I can keep up? We always love our villains and think we might have found our favorite one yet in Emmerich Voss. He's this intensely psychological
He looks like an indie villain, doesn't
with
he?
the human mind and manipulating it.
He's highly intelligent and the perfect foil for Indy. They're both brilliant people, compelled by their passions and obsessions, but driven down wildly different roads.
He creeps up on you and gets under your skin like he gets under Indy's skin. It's captivating.
Dead and forgotten in the sense of Africa.
One of our mottos for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is adventure first. But in every indie adventure, there are always those moments where he finds himself in the action.
That's been one of those balancing acts for us, and we've ended up with this sort of hybrid experience that mixes melee combat, stealth, and gunplay.
How you approach any given situation is up to you. You may choose to sneak around an enemy patrol, or maybe you'll just pick up a shovel and whack them on the back of their head. And when you can't use your wits, you got Indy's most iconic tool. Just like you see in the movies, one of our goals has been to make the whip as fun and multi-purposed as possible.
Can you imagine
We want
mocapping
it
a whip?
integrated into every aspect of the game.
You can use it as a traversal tool to make your way around the environment. You can use it as a distraction.
That's
And
nice.
yes, you can absolutely use it in combat. Everything
They've
you'd
really
expect
thought
from
about
Indy's
this.
whip. And hopefully a little bit more. Puzzles are a key feature in our game. The spirit of discovery is so important to Indiana Jones. Obviously, there are a handful of puzzles on the main path, but a lot of the puzzles are optional and are just there for the players who want to experience them. Epic traps, small secrets, and hidden puzzles that blend right in with their surroundings.
One thing I love about our game is the level of interactivity that we have. We have this world of mystery where anything could potentially hide a secret. The more you look, the more you'll discover.
It feels like they've mocapped and like animated Indy almost perfectly to how I remember him in the films.
I want to thank you all for joining us for our big reveal of Indiana
I'm sure
Jones
that's Troy
and the Great
Baker.
Circle. Machine Games is known for creating these roller coaster experiences with huge set pieces, surprising twists, and immersive narratives. It's exciting for us that we have been able to stay so true to the Indiana Jones franchise and create such an authentic experience while still being able to showcase what makes us us. We are making
and just
a game
like Star Wars
for everyone,
Outlaws,
whether you are very familiar
it's
with
set
the
in the
franchise
perfect
or
time
not.
between the
Because
films
at the heart of Indiana Jones
to capture
is an
as much
incredible
excitement
adventure,
from the fan base
and
as possible.
I think that's something everyone wants to be part of. I'm also very excited to announce that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will be coming later this year, and we cannot wait to share more soon.
So there's nothing coming spring. It looks very polished from the bits that we've seen. Later this year, so they're not actually dating it or giving you an idea. It's going to be November, December. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Yeah, that was really strong. Really strong. There's some really good stuff on, like the 4 games we knew about really captivate what I want from Xbox. The big immersive adventure
Is it
stuff.
animals, children, and game developers?
And then something for the PC.
Our mission here at Ninja Theory is to craft life-changing art with game-changing tech.
Very strong. Ara looks interesting. It's not a game genre that I play much of, but I'm not against it. And yeah, looks interesting. But everything else was fantastic. Mana, not my thing, but everything else. Avowed looks really interesting.
Just playing as Indy, you are Indiana Jones.
Indy's going to be a standout. Well, look at the tonal shift between Hellblade, very serious, Indy, very serious, Avowed looks fairly serious, and then the Mana game, Visions of Mana. There's some very different audiences that they're catering for with these, and we've still got the E3 event, or whatever the E3 event will be, in June to show more. Xbox could have a very strong year this year. Anything else, or are we done? I guess we're done. So no stealth drops, and they just showed off Visions of Mana. Yeah, I'm not an Elder Scrolls Online fan. I'm not going to watch that, although that is on from 9, so in about 10 minutes. Yeah, I mean, the absolute standout. Is this. Indy looked, in fact, where was the gameplay bit? This looks just nails everything that you'd want from an indie game. The music, the world looks perfect. I like the art style. It's very MachineGames.
Myths.
You play Elder Scrolls, it's just a money grab. Yeah, I know it went free to play, and then there's all the expansions and things, but
interpret the past.
I never really got on with it. I don't think it's a bad game, but I never really got on with it.
Humanity's thoughts and beliefs.
It was good. I mean, this
scattered and buried.
First person is such a good idea for a game like this, if they can really nail the mechanics and get the combat right. Not necessarily the shooting, they can do shooting, I've got no worry with that, but the melee has to feel good, using the whip has to feel good, and it looks like it does. The first person perspective for the gameplay loop of this looks so much better than Avowed, from what I saw. But what a great way to pull you into the world and the adventure to do it in first person.
Mankind has built sites of great spiritual significance. If you were to draw a line through these ancient sites around the globe, you get a perfectly aligned circle.
Referencing all of these ancient sites, you're obviously going to be going around a lot of countries.
I've had run-ins with these guys before. Trust me, it ain't a walk in the park.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sold on this. I think this could be very big if they get it right. I thought I was sold on Starfield. Different studio, different kind of game, licensed IP. Disney obviously down for it as well.
Patron of the fallen angels, protector of.
And just graphically, the textures look fantastic. I think it looks great. I think this, yeah, Indies sold me. Indie wasn't the one I was worried about. I was worried about Avowed. Avowed looks good, but it's one of those I need to play to really get a feel for it. If the combat doesn't feel as good as they claim it to be, and it didn't look, to me, it didn't look that good. If the combat doesn't nail it, I'm not going to be that interested. Hellblade 2, I'm already sold on, so you've not really given me anything new. I am excited, outside the release date, I am excited. It's given me the impetus to go and get Hellblade 1 finished. I've still got to replay the whole game just to get to where we were, but I will do that over the next couple of months for Todd Plays Games. And yeah, Indie, man. We're finally getting something worthy of the Indie name by the looks of it, and I cannot wait to see more. Catherine, thank you for joining me this evening. I know it's been a bit different. Hopefully there's been something there for you. And go check out, if you missed it, go check out Avowed right at the start of this. Because Avowed looks, it's like Skyrim-y kind of RPG feel. But Obsidian do good. Obsidian do good, so that should be good. That's coming out in fall. Still waiting for Manor Lords. Yeah, I know a lot of people are waiting for Manor Lords. I need to actually look into that. I've seen footage of it. I can't remember. But that's April. I'm sure that's April. So we'll keep an eye on that. That might be something that I play. I know Mark is very excited about it. Yeah, the Nothing Spring. I'm surprised that there's nothing coming out in the next 3 or 4 months. First one is May. But hell, there's some big titles coming. So this should be good. It'll be very, very good. But I'm going to go. Thank you for dropping by. I really want to get back to making content on this channel again. I don't know what it's going to be. What I'm probably going to do is cut this up and put on my thoughts of what was showcased. Depending on how copyright goes. But I want to get back to doing things on here. I want to get back to reacting to trailers. There's not always game showcases on, but I want to try and just do more because I feel like I've neglected this. Not that I've not been enjoying my time with Todd Plays Games, but really I should get back to what we originally started the YouTube journey for. So we'll see. Keep an eye on this channel, and I'll be back at some point soon. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Where's my scenes gone? I'll see you all in the next one.